snap, and the ball is free.
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up. It got shoved, right?
What's up, Spartans fans? Welcome to episode 71 of the Spartan Savants podcast. It is homecoming week in East Lansing, where the Spartans will take on the UCLA Bruins at Spartan Stadium at noon. Coming off the loss to Nebraska, we recapped that one on Monday. Travis and I coming to you for the UCLA preview this week. Again, no Nikki. Just some scheduling conflicts there, but we will get Nikki back soon, hopefully. Travis, how are you, man?
Doing great, Willy. We both, as we were talking off the air, got a big win from the Tigers this afternoon. So
huge, man. That was massive.
Things are looking up. Yes, it was. Yeah. Springing for, 9 runs? I never
out of nowhere.
Thought they were. Yeah, I thought they were never going to hit a home run again. I thought they were never going to score again.
I was going to say, I was starting to lose faith, and I was like, this game could be 20 innings. We're not going to score enough runs to win. Yeah. But yeah, Scoop Bowl Game 5 on Friday. We have not beaten the Mariners when he's pitched.
Yeah,
in the 3 games this season. So hopefully,
like you were saying, it's hard to beat a guy 4 times in a row, though.
Yes. Hopefully that will bode well for the Tigers. It looks like we're favored. I think it was like Tigers money line was minus 130. So.
Yeah, well, they don't know who Seattle's starter is yet.
Yeah,
at least,
true.
So.
You got to bring the bats. You got to keep the bats going.
I think I tweeted something during that. It was like, save some runs for Scooble.
Yeah. I feel like when Scooble pitches, they just think, oh, automatic win. But like, we have to score at least a couple runs to win. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember how many he gave up on.
I think it was
Sunday?
2.
It was
2 or 3.
Yeah. So, I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, this team is so streaky. I mean, when the bats go cold, they really go cold.
It's bad.
Yeah. But anyways, this is a Michigan State podcast, so we'll get to that.
Over the Tigers.
Yeah. We're going to preview the UCLA game, talk a little bit about everything that's going on with the team, and then we'll get into the picks. But I'll start, Travis, just a quick, temperature check on how you're feeling heading into this game.
I mean, like I said the other day, I don't feel great. This team doesn't do much for me. And I hate saying that because football is my favorite sport, and Michigan State has always been my team.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether I was going to go there or not, it's what I've always supported, and it's been tough. It's been a tough last few years, and we had penciled this in as a automatic win over UCLA pretty much. But after last week, who knows anymore? I mean, they showed up against Penn State. We didn't show up against Nebraska.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one. Plus, it's a team we haven't played since I think the 70s. So it's been a really long time.
Yeah. The game is at noon, which I think bodes well for us. I don't know what their travel plans are. I assume they're traveling in a couple days early, similar to what we did versus USC. But
they might already be there if we don't.
Yeah. But I think that's good for us to be on the right end of a time difference for once. But yeah, I'm with you. I really don't know what to expect. If UCLA had went out and got, even if they just lost to USC, I probably would feel a lot more confident. Having said that, looking at some of the stats and where they rank on offense and defense, I feel a little better. But go ahead and give me kind of some of the players or what to watch out for on UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, what you're really watching out for is mostly the QB run. Nico Imalava, however the heck you say his name. I still haven't gotten to that point yet. I mean, they're off. He had, I'm doing the math here, like 290 yards of offense last week. Yeah. Threw for 166, ran for 128, accounted for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So two passing, 3 running. So, you're looking at the quarterback run. He had as many rushing yards as the Penn State running backs had combined last week.
Wow.
So and one more touchdown. So
that's great.
That's a little scary, especially the way some of these quarterbacks have run on us in the past. So I mean, he's their big guy.
He's their leading rusher, I think.
Yeah, he's their leading rusher by like 200 yards.
Yeah.
It's scary. A lot of that's going to come in there, but I mean, like these metrics. I mean, until last week they'd scored more than 20 points once.
Yeah,
the entire season, and so like you don't really know what to take. I know they asked Jonathan Smith about preparing for it and whatever, and he was talking about how you gotta pay attention to more of the recent weeks, and like you still do your scouting on like their basic stuff or whatever, but then the stuff that's changed over the last couple of weeks is what they've we got to concentrate on. But I mean, like looking at last week, they took care of the ball. The only turnover was from Penn State, but in the same time, they don't get a lot of turnovers, and they don't turn the ball over. They've only thrown the ball one interception this year, and they've only lost 4 turnovers total. But their defense has only gained 3 turnovers, so they're not a big turnover team. And like you said, these metrics aren't like they're 105th in sacks allowed. They're 58th in tackles for loss allowed. They're 112th in scoring, even after scoring 42 points last week. They averaged 19.8. They're 103rd in total offense.
Yeah,
their third down defense is dead last in the entire.
That is one note I had. Yeah,
so it's. It's setting up well, but also the one thing that unfortunately I noticed while looking at those tackle for loss numbers, guess who's dead last in college football in allowing tackles for loss? That would be the Michigan State offensive line.
Yeah, I have to say
the very worst.
It's a school that's on the banks of the Red Cedar that's known to all. I think you literally took all the stats.
Backfield's open to all. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Like they don't stack up well ranks wise. Like their yards per game on offense is 105th in the country.
Outside of Nico, they don't have that many names that you know.
Right. Yeah. They don't pass the ball very well. They don't rush the ball very well. They're 74th in rushing yards per game. One thing that popped out to me was that their red zone offense.
Yeah, I was just about to bring
first in the country, 100% in the red zone.
14 for 14.
Yeah.
Somehow. So don't let them down there.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Sucks, but they're good when it's a short field.
Yeah. Yeah, they convert. I think this is one of those games like it's a good spot for Michigan State, right? You have a team traveling west. The game is early. They're coming off a huge win, a massive win.
Yeah.
Their first one of the season.
Hangover effect.
Yes. This is one of those things where you need to take advantage of a team that's probably going to come in a little hungover. They could just – my biggest fear is they come in just carrying that momentum, and they just kick our asses.
Yeah,
Imalieva is not – he's played like a slouch this year. But he's not a slouch. He was really good at Tennessee in that offense.
Yeah. Well, my counter to that is every quarterback is good in that Tennessee offense. Look at what Joey Aguilar is doing compared to what he did at UCLA. They're
good point.
But yeah, he's definitely a guy to look out for. He's a mobile guy. Is the scariest part of that. I think that, offensively for us, it's good that they allow a lot of points, first of all, and they also let you run the ball down their throat.
I was going to say,
they're giving up 217 yards to opponents per game in the running game. So if there's a game in conference play where you're going to get your running game and you're blocking right, it better be this one. Otherwise, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they rank 129th out of 136 in rush defense. So I think you're absolutely right. That's a great point. This is an opportunity for that O-line and running backs to figure some things out, get right. And I think on top of that, the time of possession, UCLA is 101st in average time of possession. They average 28 minutes a game. MSU 31st at just over 31 minutes a game. So this is one of those games where you can really kind of hold on to the ball and really hopefully keep Imalieva off the field.
Yeah.
And kind of take away that threat as much as possible.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was looking at last week's game and they had the ball for twice as long as Penn State did in that game.
That's crazy. Imagine if they didn't.
It doesn't add up when you look at the metrics.
What their average would be if they didn't have that game.
Oh, my God. Yeah, dude, their scoring average would be abysmal.
I was going to say they're averaging 19.8 after the Penn State
after
game.
after putting
a 42.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, this is realistically it's probably the last game that Michigan State will be favored in.
Yeah,
at least like a clear favorite. I mean, they're 8.5-point favorites.
You got to win on homecoming, man. You can't show homecoming and lose.
This is one of those games where if they lose, the calls for John Smith being fired will really ramp up.
Yeah, and they will also become everybody else's homecoming game.
Yeah,
for the future. Yeah, but I think like we mentioned their quarterback running game and everything. I think that the key is going to be keeping him inside. Like, we can't have our DNs getting way too far upfield,
right,
like they tend to do sometimes, and just bypassing the quarterback because that's just going to leave lanes for run. You very much have to. This is a former DN speaking. You very much got to keep contain on those outside edges, and that's something that we've struggled with. I think, especially with these running quarterbacks, is not necessarily the scheme of it, but the guys knowing who has the contain, who the contain defender is, and who's supposed to stay home. Because I've seen time and time again that guy that's supposed to be holding contain diving inside and trying to go get a sack when that's not his role in that play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye out. I don't know if they'll put a spy on him. That the spy seems to, I watched that Lions-Ravens game and they had a spy on Lamar Jackson, and now every time there's a running quarterback, I'm like, well, just put a spy on him. Just put a spy on him.
Yeah.
I don't know if Michigan State.
Do we have an Alex Anzalone?
Right. Yeah. I don't know if that's something that's in our bag, but
yeah,
if there was a game to do it, this would be the one.
I would think they'd probably be using like Ice Moa in that role, because I feel like that's the type of role that they've put him in. They kind of put him in there that way in the USC game when Hall and Matthews went out.
Yeah,
and I don't think like Hall and Matthews are easily our best two linebackers. I don't think either one of them has the skill set to be the spy right now, the speed to be the spy.
Yeah. Hall's having a great year, honestly. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that they recruited over him last year in the transfer portal and told him that he had some things to work on. This was like a blurb they talked about in the Nebraska game. That the coaching staff basically told him he wasn't where he needs to be, especially coming off such a good freshman year that he had.
Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that, but he's been great this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that he's in this era, he was able to hear that and go work on it instead of being like, oh, these guys don't like me, and I'm just going to go play somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it also backs up what they've said about him since day one. He's this old school kind of hardworking linebacker who you want in your foxhole, who you want the captain of your team, leading your defense. So that's surprising to hear for me as well, but it's also good to see him actually commit to that and take it to heart.
It's nice to know there's still some good ones out there.
Yeah,
that are
players that actually want to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually want to get better. Don't think they're a finished product.
Right. Yeah. So Chiles coming off probably his worst game of the season. I think it's a nice bounce back opportunity for him to kind of get right. Hopefully there's not too many lingering issues from that, any like health wise from that Nebraska game for him.
I don't even know what he's dealing with anymore. We thought it was the shoulder at first. He was limping at the end.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? We need him fully healthy with his full skill set. I don't think like UCLA ranks 126th in sacks. So hopefully there's not a ton of pressure coming from those guys. But I don't know if they've made any adjustments since the coaching change and everything like that to their scheme and ramping up the pressure and all that.
Yeah, Nebraska didn't rank very well in sacks either, but they were in the backfield all day.
I mean, we don't either, and we had 5 last week.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. I think a get-right game on all accounts. I mean, if there's a team to do it against, it's certainly this one. I feel like Nick Marsh has been super quiet the past couple of weeks. Yeah. And I know that there's an injury there, and he's not quite 100%. But he's someone. If he's on the field, he needs to be making a difference. Yeah. I mean, last week all receivers were quiet, right? I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what we talked about in our last episode. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time, none of those receivers showed up on. Yeah. I mean, Marsh was the only guy whose position title was actually wide receiver who had more than one catch.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, Chiles, this should be a great game for him to get back and, he should have time to throw the ball, go through his reads, make good decisions. There was some really tough decision making.
There was. Yeah, there was.
And there was a ton of pressure, and I get that's going to impact it, but it felt like for that one game, he kind of reverted back to old Aidan Chiles for a minute there.
Yes, he did. And, I mean, if he's going to go back to being this year's version of Aidan Chiles that we've seen from all the other games this week, I want to see them be aggressive all over the place. Take it to UCLA and just be like, you guys are 1-4. You might have beat Penn State last week, but you're not shit. We're going to go up and down the field on you on our home field because our fans deserve that. And this coaching staff really needs a game like that.
Yeah, that's true. And, the one thing to consider, too, in this game is that this is an interim coaching staff for UCLA. They're not going to, a lot of this – I don't know who their interim head coach is, but I can't remember.
I forget it. I looked it up a second ago, and I forgot his name.
But they're not going to – they're going to give you their best shot, right? These guys are all – want to have a job next year, whether it's at UCLA or a new team. So they're not going to just show up and play. They're going to want to, every game is a big game for them. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to put their best game plan together, just like they did versus Penn State. Like, this is not, to me, you're playing last week's UCLA. You kind of touched on this earlier. You're playing on last week's UCLA team. You're not playing the UCLA team for the first 4 games.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim Skipper is their coach, by the way.
Tim Skipper.
Yeah.
It's funny. I feel like Jerry Neuheisel, Kirk Neuheisel's son, got all the attention.
Yeah,
he's the interim offensive coordinator.
I thought he was the
head coach.
Yeah, that's what made me look it up. I was like, they went to Neuheisel on this. Okay.
I was like surprised. Like, why is he doing
like going back to the well with a UCLA legacy here?
Yeah,
yeah.
Well. We'll see what happens with UCLA. I mean, like Nick always says, they're all must-win games, but I mean, this one is. If they lose this one, I think 3-9 comes into play.
Oh yeah, you cannot start Big Ten play 0-3.
Yeah,
and expect to have a good finish to the season. Expect to have a good overall result on the season.
Yeah, agreed. While we're on the topic of Aidan Chiles, ESPN came out with a rankings. I want to say it was last week, right after we recorded.
It was October 1st, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so a week ago. Yeah.
They ranked all the quarterbacks in college football from 1 to 136. Oh, every Power 4. I'm sorry, not all of them. So Jaden Mayava, USC was 1. Diego Pavia 2. You touched on Trinidad Chambliss at 3, which was kind of surprising.
That was off the air, yeah.
Mendoza at 4 for Indiana, who's having a great year. Dante Moore, Oregon.
You all visit team.
Yeah, I know, right? Brendan Thorsby at Cincinnati, CJ Carr at Notre Dame.
That one's a little surprising.
Yeah, very young. Ty Simpson from Alabama at 8. Desmond Williams Jr. at Washington at 9.
Yeah, that's a Michigan State legacy there at 9, too.
Yeah. Julian Sayin and John Mateer at 11 and 12. I was kind of surprised by that. I think Mateer was having a great season until he got hurt. But anyways, going all the way down to number 32 I want to say
33.
33.
33.
33 is where we find Aidan Chiles. That's behind C.J. Bailey at NC State and another MSU named Sam Levitt at 31. Sam Levitt, I think, is pretty good company. He's not having quite the year that he had last year, but he's having still a pretty solid year. Chiles just ahead of Devin Dampier from Utah and Kevin Jennings from SMU. Ahead of Garrett Nussmeier and Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, I was going to say he's in an interesting spot. I would say he's probably very similar skill set to Dampier and Jennings, and that's probably why they've got them kind of piled up there.
Yeah.
But when you look at these names, I mean, I'll even add in Miller Moss at LSU or Louisville, who was at USC before.
Mm-hmm.
They've thought he's been a highly rated quarterback. But yeah, you got Miller Moss, Garrett Nussmeier, Bryce Underwood, Caden Salter, Aidan Chiles is ahead of Arch Manning.
Yeah, like if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Aidan Chiles is going to be ranked ahead of Arch Manning, Bryce Underwood, and Garrett Nussmeier, I would have been like, wow, he's going to must be the top 15, top 10. Yeah. So I think and I know that, I mean, Bryce Underwood, for him to be at 38 as a true freshman.
Kate Klubnik, too.
Yeah. So there's some serious numbers ahead of. So I think it's pretty high praise, especially where ESPN typically is not kind to MSU in any of these rankings. When you look at the quarterbacks that he's ahead of, it's pretty high praise.
And they were pretty brutal on some of these teams too.
Yeah.
UCF's 3 injured quarterbacks. I just came across the West Virginia one.
Yeah.
2 or 3 square pegs for round holes.
Yeah.
It's not even a name. It's oh my god.
And to give people some context, I mean, Kate Klubnik is all the way down at 54 21 spots behind Chiles. Drew Aller, who many people thought would be the number 1 overall pick, or at least the number 1 quarterback, is at 55.
DJ Lagway from Florida is 61.
Yeah, so these are some pretty, I mean,
Nico
highly regarded names.
58.
Yeah. So that's pretty high praise for Chiles. I mean, that's something that, I don't know if last week's performance would change this. I'm certain that it probably
at ESPN that would move him all the way to 58.
They probably would move him. I mean, they would definitely move Underwood ahead of him. But I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks behind him that are just probably struggling. But it's you gotta feel pretty good about that if you're the Spartan fan base.
Interesting list. Yeah, I'm seeing other guys I would have higher than they are too, but it's definitely. I wonder who wrote this. I'd never heard that name before. Okay,
who is it?
His name is Bill Connolly.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Got the usual writers out there.
As a writer, that's concerning. I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
Gets you reflecting on your own career.
God, any other thoughts here on UCLA or I mean, when did the first CFP rankings come out?
It's usually the first Tuesday of November.
Okay, so we got a little bit of time there.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting year.
They usually do college basketball, like halftime of one of the college basketball games.
That's right. Yeah.
So, or sometimes I think it's between games of the Champions Classic.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. That sounds right. Who would you have? I mean, I feel like number 1 and 2, Oregon and Ohio State, pretty clear. I think
it's hard not to have that. Miami's going to be up. Miami's going to be up there.
Yeah, they look good. They're fast, man. That D line is really good.
Yeah,
for Miami.
I'm gonna get to see them in person right before those rankings come out too.
Nice.
They play at SMU the first weekend of November.
Nice.
That's gonna be scary. It's also SMU's homecoming, so that is a scary homecoming matchup.
Homecoming for them.
Yeah. Well, the head coach gets to face the team that he used to be the offensive coordinator for. It kind of adds up there too. But I mean, looking at these top rankings, I think those are clearly the top 3 teams in the country, and I think everybody else is going to kind of fall off. I don't think maybe Ole Miss can hang on to where they are, but I don't think Texas A&M or Oklahoma are going to stay top 10.
Yeah.
Indiana probably will stay top 10. the way they've been playing.
Schedule, yeah.
I think Texas Tech could probably fly up a little bit. They've been really impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's
after that, it's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, after like 1, 2, and 3, I mean, it's a wide open year in terms of who's going to make the playoff. It really would have been a nice year for Michigan State to sneak
do
in.
something.
Yeah.
Hey, wake up!
Yeah.
I think BYU could be sneaky down there too.
Yeah, I mean that people love that coach at BYU. He's done a nice job. Yeah. Everybody at Big 12 Media Days was scrambling to talk to him. Really,
no matter who they were affiliated with. Yeah,
of course.
They also love that he used to be a fullback. So that's
nice.
That's another thing.
Nice. All right, no savant of the week this week with Nicky out. He's kind of the guy that runs the show there. So we'll just jump into the picks. All right, strong week for the podcast last week. Nicky led the way with a 13-4 record last week. I went 11-6, and then Travis 10-7.
Still too far behind. But
yeah, a good week. Didn't gain any ground.
Good week. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So Nicky takes the lead in the standings at 53-36, 17 games over 500. I'm right behind at 52-37, and then Trav, you're 41-48.
A lot of people would kill for the records you guys have.
I've
been on a show before where the guy just does. He straight up says, "I don't do it against the spread because that's impossible."
Well, if I know anything about gambling, is that there's going to be a correction coming for Nick and I, and then that's when you'll start to make up ground. Like what Nicky and I will go 3-10 one week, and then that week you'll go 10-3, and then all of a sudden things will look a little different. But we're going to start off this week in Champaign, Illinois, where the number 1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes will take on the Illinois Fighting Illini, who are 17th ranked. Ohio State favored here on the road by 14.5.
I feel like I have to go Ohio State in that. I don't have faith in Illinois keeping it very close.
Yeah, I'm with you, especially after their loss to not USC, to Indiana. I just don't have much faith in them.
Yeah. They weren't
Yeah, I'm with you there. 8th ranked Alabama on the road at Nick's second favorite team, 14th ranked Missouri, led by Eli Drinkowitz. Alabama coming in as road favorites here, 2.5.
Nicky's not here. Somebody's got to do it. Give me the drink.
All right. Alabama's playing really good football right now. Ty Simpson really seems to figure it out. I'm going to take Alabama there, but that's a tough one. I think Missouri's going to play tough at home. Going over to the ACC, this one in my backyard, the Pitt Panthers are coming into Tallahassee to take on the 25th ranked Florida State Seminoles. Florida State coming off 2 straight losses to Virginia and Miami. They made that Miami game close at the end, but it really wasn't as close as the score made it look. Florida State favored here by 10.5.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to end up picking 2 of my favorites here, but I feel like Florida State's due for a big game.
I'm with you. I think it's a bounce back game. Pitt is just kind of always like just okay. They don't really do anything that totally impresses me. I think Florida State can get right here at home. 7th ranked Indiana, big one in the Big Ten here. 7th ranked Indiana travels to Eugene to take on the 3rd ranked Oregon Ducks. The Ducks favored by 7.5 here.
Oregon's rolling too much. I think they'll have a little bit too much at home, especially with that travel.
Yeah, I agree. That's a tough place to play.
If it was at Indiana, I would consider a lot more.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games that if you're an Indiana fan, they're happy, right? They're happy with where they're at, but this is one of those okay, this is really a big game for Cignetti.
Realistically, they're going 10-2 and making the playoff again.
Right.
It's
a pretty realistic outcome. But I'm going to go Oregon there too.
No matter what happens in that game, they're making the playoff.
Right. Red River rivalry, big one in your backyard. It says Oklahoma at Texas. Obviously, we know
It's in Dallas. Yeah.
So Oklahoma's coming in ranked 6th. Texas coming off a bad loss to Florida. They're struggling to get it going. Unranked now. Texas, though, favored by 1.5.
I'm gonna go Oklahoma just because I've taken too many favorites so far. That is such a hard game to predict this year. I don't know what to make of anybody. You don't know if Mateer's available.
I was just going to ask if Mateer was available.
They're still determining it. Is the last thing I heard. So,
dang, that's a tough one. I'm kind of with you though. I'm going to go Oklahoma. Texas just doesn't seem to have it this year. Arch Manning's really struggling. This game's always crazy. You never really know what you're going to get. Virginia Tech at 13th ranked Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech favored by 14.5.
I'm pretty big on Georgia Tech this year. I'll take them. That's a
big point spread. Virginia Tech interim coach. I'm with you. I'm big on Georgia Tech. A lot of points, but I'm gonna ride with the Rambling Wreck here. Another team that you and I have both been big on, Iowa State, coming off a tough loss to Cincinnati. Still ranked 22nd. They're traveling to Boulder to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. Is that what they are? Yeah. No.
Buffaloes, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I was mixed up there. Iowa State.
Right.
Yeah. Iowa State favored here by 2.5.
They bit me in the ass last week, but I'm still going to go with Iowa State in this one. Colorado's had so much stuff that they've had to figure it out. I think they've started 3 different quarterbacks this year.
Yeah.
It's not a great situation over there.
Yeah.
Personnel-wise.
Agreed. I'm going to go with Iowa State too. All the same picks so far. So
that's not good.
Interesting.
No.
Arkansas at number 12 Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 11.5.
I think Tennessee wins. Arkansas covers.
Okay. I'm going to mix it up a little bit here just so we have one different pick on the board. I'll go Tennessee. I think I like your pick more.
That was me. That was also part of me trying to do something different.
No, I like your pick. That Arkansas quarterback is good.
Taylor Green.
Tennessee is looking pretty strong though.
I wrote a profile on him a couple of years ago.
Nice. Florida travels to College Station to take on the 5th-ranked Texas A&M Aggies. Aggies favored by 7.5 here.
Let's say I'm going to do the same thing I just did. Florida covers, but A&M wins.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Florida has been a tough out. They don't typically win. Last week they came up with a win. You just never know what you're going to get with them, but they play tough. I'm going to take
Kyle Field is really tough too.
Mm-hmm.
If that was at the Swamp, I would probably pick Florida outright.
Yeah. Sticking in the SEC, 10th ranked Georgia Bulldogs are heading on the road as 3.5-point favorites to take on the Auburn Tigers.
Dogs. I don't have a lot of faith in Auburn.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games where Georgia just is gonna take over and win that one. I'm with you. 15th ranked Michigan at USC minus 2.5. USC favorite by 2.5.
Interesting. I'm still going to go Trojans on that one.
I am going to join you and go with the Trojans as well.
No explanation needed, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan, they've won, but I mean, that Wisconsin game was tight for a while. I think on the road, that some of their weaknesses will start to show a little more versus some stronger competition. Okay, South Carolina at 11th ranked LSU. LSU favored by 9.5. This game is at night.
Yeah, I'll go LSU. I was thinking maybe a little backdoor cover from South Carolina, but no.
Yeah. I'm going to go South Carolina and hope for that backdoor cover.
Fair enough.
Lenore Sellers kind of figures it out.
Let the record show it entered my mind.
Yeah. 21st ranked Arizona State Sun Devils travel to Utah take on the Utes. Utah at home here, favored by 5.5.
I'll go Sun Devils then.
Yeah, I think you're getting the better team plus points here. I'm going to go with the Sun Devils as well. I don't know why I just wrote that out on you, but okay. Moving on quickly here to the NFL. Lions are traveling to Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 2.5. I have a feeling we're both going to pick the same here.
What the hell are they watching? Yeah, I'm gonna go Lions here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think anytime you get Lions plus points, I'm going to take that. Okay.
That Green Bay team. Green Bay game has been a different team.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, the granddaddy of them all here. We've got UCLA at Michigan State, noon in East Lansing. Big Ten Network game, our first noon game of the year. So that'll be a nice change of pace. Michigan State favored by 8.5. The over/under is 52.5. So I'll take your score prediction.
I am going to say Spartans 31, UCLA 20.
Okay, just under Michigan State covers.
That may be the last time that I picked the Spartans to win this.
I was just going to say I'm not picking them to win any more games after this until they give me a reason.
I can't mentally make myself not pick them against UCLA.
Yeah, well, it's funny because your prediction was like what I think 7-5 or 6-6 when we went to the schedule, but you picked them to win or cover every week.
Yeah, well. I'm hopeful.
I hear you.
I figured the wins would come early and then the losses would come late.
I figured you would.
Yeah.
I'm going to take MSU to cover against my better judgment. Just looking at how they stack up versus UCLA and UCLA's defensive issues, especially when it comes to stopping the run. If they can contain Imalieva, I think it should be a pretty solid victory too. I think you're pretty close in the score. I'm going to go 31-17. So that would be MSU covering and the under as well. And we'll get Nick's picks via text message. And we'll see how we do.
I believe.
So that will do it for the 71st episode of the Spartans Savants podcast. Shouts to College Huddle, of course. As always, we appreciate them letting us be the Michigan State representative. And I say it every week, and I'm not going to stop. Like, subscribe, follow YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, X, Instagram, at Spartan Savants for both of those. But until then, we'll see you next week, Sunday or Monday, again, to recap, hopefully, a Michigan State victory on homecoming. But for Travis and myself, go green.
Go white.